This is Metalworks Machine Shop. My name is Doug, and welcome back to the shop. Hey, this video, I don't really have any machining to do. My work kept me away for almost 2 weeks. I have received some items in the mail. I'm going to show those. I've acquired some tools from a Craigslist ad. Sitting in a motel, cruising Craigslist, watching YouTube videos. Found a local retired machinist selling everything he had. And I went after a few pieces and I bought it all. He gave me most of it, just throwed it in with it, said he was done. So kind of scored on that one big time. Like I said, some channel stickers came in the mail. I went to an auction, tried to buy a few things. It didn't happen. It was overwhelming how many people showed up to this gentleman's auction, and he had there was a little Craftsman lathe, a few other things that I'd like to have, but it just didn't happen. It was like sardines in there, literally. You had somebody in front and back, you're up on your toes, you're just trying to, it was impossible. I went after the cabinets, but there was other things I wanted, and I wanted to watch sell, but couldn't get it done. So, but I made the guy pay for the cabinet, so I guarantee you that. So, I think that's about it. Hopefully the video doesn't run too long. Me gabbing, makes it longer. So, alright. Thanks for subscribing. Yeah, I'm getting anywhere from 5 to 15 subscribers a week. Thank you. For as small as my channel is, as much content as I got, it's going to get better. I got lots of plans to do things, so I just got to find the time. I might be having my work situation might be changing to where I am not gone anymore, and I do have some video of where I was at. I can't tell you where I was or what I was doing, but they allowed me to video a few things, but not going into detail what anything does, because a lot of it was all R&D research, trying new equipment to see if it performed the way manufacturers say they perform. I hope you enjoy. It might run a little long. I apologize for that. If you get bored, I understand. But thanks again to all my new subscribers, and see you in the next one. I got a little mail and some other things that come in over the last few weeks, so I'll kind of show that. I got my Linux blades from Keith Fenner's video when he did the Linux video, and these were the freebies. You know, you got online and fill out the info, and then they sent you one. About, I think it took maybe 8 weeks to get them. And the one from a month or so ago from VintageMachinery.org, Keith Ruckers, with the Osborne abrasives. Those showed up the other day, and I didn't realize they must be Osborne must sell through Applied. So we at work we use Applied all the time. They're sort of like another McMaster car. So if you can't find it, Applied can get it. Mike Wiggins, Backyard Machine Shop, sent me stickers and sent me one of his old 748 t-shirts. I was going to wear it, but it's still a little bit too cold in here, so I'm not sporting his t-shirt. Not when it's down into, I think it's like 16 degrees right now. Wind chill's probably single digits. Also got one of Stephen Lang, couple Stephen Lang stickers. Shark River Machine. He's one of your go-to guys for your precision ground flat stones. So if y'all not subscribed to him, check him out. And also got Joe Way from Sierra Specialty Auto. Got a little home shop, does a lot of little projects. Good channel. Here's one I've had his. It's a magnet. I've had a couple of his for a while. I met his name is Joe too. So welcome to the machine shop. So it's well, I met Joe at Mr. Pete's meet and greet. Good guy. Nice little channel. He builds little small engines like Mr. Pete and Randy Richard is doing right now. I believe this is the one he's doing right now. I actually downloaded a file on it. Like to try it, maybe. You know, it's a 3-cylinder. I believe this is the one he's doing right now, and you know, I might give it a try. I keep telling Joe that I don't have the patience for doing those little small parts like that, so I don't know, we'll see. Got this surface gauge. I got like 3 or 4 of them in a box at a garage sale last year. I think I paid like $5 for them. Another channel, guy on another channel made a comment about not having one, and I was like, huh, I got like 4 of them. You know, the one I do use, and I offered it to him and graciously took my offer, not a problem. So that's going up to Canada and find it a new home to where it could be used. It just sits in my cupboard. I actually cleaned it up. I believe this is homemade. That's a nice job. I don't have the scribe for it or anything, but you know, pins work. I mean, everything, it's all complete, works nice. But you know, I hope he can use it, and you know, it's just my gift to him. You know, he's got a good channel. See here, you know, here's one of my parts. You know, I actually had to steal from Peter to give to Paul here, so to make this one complete. So not a big deal. You know, and if anybody, this basically, there's no pins, there's no adjuster. I mean, everything here works, but I don't have, you know, this is what it is. You know, it's got somebody's name engraved in it, but if someone would like to have that, I'm more than willing to ship it to you. I just prefer not see it on eBay in a week, but you know, stuff like that happens. But yeah, I got the one I use. It's a little bit bigger. It's a beautiful, you know, brown and sharp. I've used it a few times. It's nice to have. I actually bought it because I got a display case in my house with some old tooling, and I've used it out here a few times. It's been in the shelf. I moved it over to my toolbox, and I think eventually it's going to find its place in my display case in the house, along with I got some old gauges and stuff like that. So it's probably going to migrate to the house here eventually. But also, you know, I'm into, you know, you see my Trans Am in my videos. This is for one of the 2 car shows that Carcoat goes to a year. It's the Trans Am Nationals on August 23rd through 25th. It is a concourse judging. They have a concourse class, but they have every other class you can think of, from stock to, well, from a project car all the way up to concourse, you know, heavy modified, light modified, stock, and concourse. And a concourse can be just a car that's never been touched. It doesn't have to look like showroom. It can be in any condition, as long as everything is correct on the car. You can get into the concourse judge. They don't judge on how pretty it is. They judge on how correct it is. So it's a pretty good show. It's pretty intense with some of the, with us. You know, my car has won its class maybe 3 times and a few second places. But that's a good weekend if you're into the old Pontiacs. Well, here's my stickered up door so far, you know, on what I have. Okay, this is just a little bit of it, just to start out. Everything here was what he threw in with the deal. So basically I didn't pay any more over my offer. The Starrett. Complete, other than it does not work. It needs repaired, so this is going to go get sent off and get repaired. Smith Toyo, old. He said it just doesn't repeat good enough for his. I mean, it doesn't. It's tenths off every time it goes somewhere else. Every time you release, it's a 5 or 6 tenths somewhere else. See here, this here's cool. Something I'd never probably use, but it is a shockproof gauge. It's made to go on a machine that vibrates. This was actually on a, I don't know if it was a powder coat machine or a paint booth. But it had, it was robot controlled, it had spray nozzles. This went in on the outside. See, it's only got 30 thousandths each direction. It would get inserted out there and would be set, you know, zeroed out with the spray nozzles, and then there was little dials that they turned, and they could change the direction ever so slightly of the spray nozzles. And he said they took these off and they went all electronic, so these weren't needed anymore. But I got like three of these mag bases. These are MHC Industrial Supply. Don't know how old they are, but the magnet's pretty strong. Actually, some of the videos that I'll show in this video that I made at work, this is actually stuck to a crane, and then the camera's looking up the boom. So I was actually using this one right here, and the magnet on it's strong. I don't really like this ball thing. I mean, it works, but I don't know if I trust it with an indicator, so I'm probably just going to use it to hold my cameras and stuff. Now these Chinese made half-dial indicators, never used, but this gentleman worked it was ISO certified, so everything here was tested. It is accurate and close enough for him to use it as reference only. You know, once he got done with doing what he did, he'd have to go to his tool room and get an ISO certified measuring device tool and take it back to do his final measurements that would get wrote down on the papers and stuff. But I got two of them, both half-thou, and both, he said both are tested, and he says they're well within the tolerance that they work from, and he gave those to me. So, and they've never been used. Alright, this is actually what I went to go buy. I guess we'll start over here. It's a SPI. It's like maybe sold by like some of the US, you know, stores. It's still, I think, overseas made. It's a half-thousand, it's never been used, is ISO certified for him to use as reference. He has, you know, it still has the plastic film on the lens. It is, you know, it's a half-thou, so you can use it vertical or horizontal, dovetail, you know, you can mount it two different ways. Got this Starrett 1 inch. It's a 436. He used this, you know, see, he marked all his tools reference only. He said it's just as good as what, it's just not ISO certified. Here's a Brown & Sharpe. I don't know the number, or if it even has one. Just says made in USA, Brown & Sharpe. This inside mic, I believe this is metric. They did a lot of, he said they did a lot of metric, because the number's 7,000, and I looked it up, and the only thing I can come up with metric. I'd like to have one of these, but I'd like the smaller, because this only starts at 1 inch. So, you know, I kind of need a smaller one. Two of these test indicators, half-thou, both Fowler. One with the white face. And it's got different mounting hardwares for the dovetail, and then there's the couple extra pointy bits of different lengths. Then also got a black face, never used, Fowler, and it just has a couple different mounting ends on it, and there's nothing. Got this Starrett inside micrometer. It's a thousandths. It's pretty cool. It only has a 1/4 inch travel, so 250 thousandths. to travel, but thought rather cool. I mean, I could probably use that somewhere along the line. I mean, I didn't go for that, but that was just part of it. This Mitutoyo depth gauge. Wasn't really after this until I kind of Googled it and looked it up and went to Mitutoyo's website and found out what these things cost. And I about had to change my drawers. This is actually around $500 to $600 depth gauge. It measures 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 points past the decimal. But it's only half thou. I don't know if there's any other rods that I could buy for it, because I mean I can only go to a half a thou, or a half inch. So I mean, it's, it did come with a little short one. He said he does surface checking with it. He put that up in there, and then he'd go across the surface and see, because he was into measuring, what is that, is that all the way up? I'm not sure. Is that the 50 millionths? I mean, he was talking about that, but, on how that, it's a 543 392 B as in boy, D is in David. These ball gauges, he gave me, these were, I've heard people, there's a couple videos out on them, ball hole gauges, something, I don't not really know what they're for, but he told me these were, that's a carbide ball, silver soldered to, drill rod. These are precision balls. He says these went in an old CNC, and they did the same thing that like all the Heimers do, I guess you would call them. They go over with a little light and they tap. I mean, that's what this did. That's what these did. They used them for in their machines to find the edges. And he said these are old. He doesn't remember how old they are, but these have never been used. It's just some of that wax coating has just come off of them over the years. He was going to actually just heat them up and get the silver solder off, and to get the carbide off for scrap. And he said, I could have them if I wanted them. So this is one of the things that he did give me. But this is what I kind of went for. And like the video that Adam Booth just did, well, it's been a while, but yep, you take it out and the box wants to fall over. But it is, a Blake indicator. Blake Manufacturing Company. He had a lot of holes to, within half thou, but I've seen other videos, you really don't go by the thousands. It's just depends on the length of the rod and what you're using, and changes the measurement. He said it's not really, you really can't go by that. This has one purpose only, just to find an ID or an OD of a hole or a pin, or ID or OD of your work. That's all it's for. So that's what I went for, and honestly I paid less than what this Blake would cost used. I've seen them for sale, and there's no way I could even afford, I didn't, he come up with a number, and I countered, and he said, they're yours, take them. Some don't need them. I said, thank you very much, but that's the only thing I went for, and everything else was kind of a bonus thrown in with it. This was all one lot right there, and he, all the other stuff he gave me, he just pitched it in with it. Alright guys, see you in the next one.